Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to Mass Effect.
If C-Sec were better at its job,
Right.
there'd be no need for
And
bounty
we just
hunters
got
like me.
the,
I used to have an office here. Spend half my time doing
so you
paperwork.
don't have an office anymore. We got the new armor though, I do remember. Let's see if I can get better light. No, no better light. Okay, I'm buff, super buff. I think we're gonna go find Fist, right? Boop-a-doop, I don't know where I'm going. Oh boy, let's do this really quick. Overkill. Boom, 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 boom. Shotguns. Yeah, perfect. Shotguns. He loves shotguns. Combat armor. Shield boost. Fitness. Okay. Heavy armor. Perfect. Let's unlock some of that. Oh, throw. Warp. Krogan Battlemaster. Let's get that all booped out. One of the last true Krogan Battlemasters is they are a dying breed, for which the rest of the galaxy is grateful. I remember that. I'll give you a couple on barrier. Throw. Whoop. Okay, whoop, that's fine. Immunity. Okay. What's this one? Increase. Okay, so more throw, which is awesome. Stasis sucks. Yeah, I never did much with fitness for anybody, but if we're gonna be playing in hardcore mode, then I'll probably have to up everybody's health. I think he usually uses a shotgun, so we'll just up the shotgun and then put the rest in warp. And then, right, and Garrus is the sniper rifle. He's the only person who can use the sniper rifle. So we'll give him that. Tactical armor, able to equip blind armor, increases shield boot. Oh, so he can unlock assault training. Okay. Medium armor, good. Shield boost. We have barrier and shield boost for people with shield and shield stuff. Adrenaline burst. Alright, I have that, right? Okay. And then, yeah, he does some of this stuff. Decryption lets you increase the amount of omni-gel recovered. So the thing is, in this game, I think the way they do it is, like, if I go down to a planet, if I don't have somebody who's not good at, like, decrypting, then I can't unlock some of the things that I find. Like, I don't have the skill, but I have to have somebody with me, which is why I ended up bringing somebody that we'll meet later a lot down to the planets, because she's pretty much a technician. That's sabotage. I don't think anybody's got damping. Temporarily disables enemy biotics and techs. Okay. Increases explosion rates in your tech proximity mines. Shuts down enemy tech and biotic abilities. That's cool. Oh, let's get Turian Agent. The required military service people has given Garrus expert training in assault and sniper rifles. Turian Agent. Yeah, I think everybody's. If you're a Turian, you have to go through some form of military service. I was wondering if he'd done that and then moved on to C-Sec, or why he didn't stay in the Turian military, so that's something I'll need to figure out, maybe, for funsies. I mean, I've already got that, so, but it's nice to give him some. What, electronics increases, oh, right, yeah, the repairing my vehicle when I'm on the ground. Oh, well, I guess let's unlock that. Oh, wait. Like that. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And then let's put some more in assault training. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Decryption and damping for sure. Yep, sure. I don't think I have anything. Nope. I need to work on fitness. That's pretty much all I'm gonna have to work on. I can't believe I got through with that low of a shotgun thingy. I don't know why I put points in sniper rifle. I never use it. Let's actually look at the Codex. I know we've got a lot in there. Is he gonna... Okay, it's the secondary one. After the Arachnine War, this quick-breeding Krogan expanded at the expense of their neighbors. Warlords leveraged their veteran soldiers to seize living space, while the council races were still grateful. Over centuries, the Krogan conquered world after world. There was always just one more needed. When the council finally demanded withdrawal from the Asari colony of Lucia, Krogan overlord critics stormed off the Citadel, daring the council to take their worlds back. But the council taking precautions. The finest STG operators and Asari huntresses had been drafted into a covert observation force, the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance. Oh, okay. So the Krogan Wars, or the Rebellion, is when the Spectres were formed. The Spectres opened the war with crippling strategic strikes. Krogan planets went dark as computer viruses flooded the extranet, sabotaged antimatter refineries, disappeared into blue-white annihilation, headquarters stations shattered into orbit, clogging debris, rammed by pre-placed suicide freighters. Still, it's only delayed the inevitable. The war would have been lost if not for the first contact with the Turians, who responded to Krogan threats with a prompt declaration of war. Being on the far side of Krogan space from the Council, yeah, the Turians advanced rapidly into the lightly defended Krogan rear areas. The Krogan responded by dropping space stations and asteroids on Turian colonies. 3 worlds were rendered completely uninhabitable. This was precisely the wrong approach to take with Turians. Each is first and foremost a public servant willing to risk his life to protect his comrades. Rather than increasing public war weariness, Krogan tactics stiffened Turian resolve. It is to be admired, the Turian resolve. The arrival of Turian task forces saved many worlds from the warlords' marauding fleets, but it took development of the genophage bioweapon to end the war. There were decades of unrest afterwards. Rogue warlords and holdout groups of insurgents refused to surrender or despaired in the frontier systems to become pirates. My question is, I guess in Mass Effect 3 they kind of tell you how they put the bioweapon out, but it's only on Tuchanka, but they had a bunch of other worlds. There are no more. The Krogan are small enough now that they really, their only world they can claim as theirs, I'm pretty sure, is Tuchanka. But it was just their original world. But they only, as far as I could tell, they only put the bioweapon on Tuchanka. But they were everywhere. Like, how did they get to the Krogan who were on spaceships and stuff? Like, if those guys had just, like, pieced out, like, I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, like, it couldn't reach them unless the bioweapon could reach them. So, if there were, like, small pockets of Krogan somewhere, they could still be reproducing. So, that's a little, like, they could have, like, sent out a warning, like, oh, hey, all you Krogan who aren't here on the planet, go. But maybe they wouldn't do that. CSEC, Citadel Security, is a volunteer police service answering to the Citadel Council. The 200,000 constables of CSEC are responsible for maintaining public order in the densely populated Citadel. They also provide pirate suppression, customs enforcement, and search and rescue throughout the Citadel cluster. CSEC has 6 divisions, enforcement, uniformed officers who patrol the Citadel and respond to emergencies. I'm just making sure everything's running over on my computer really quick. I'm kind of paranoid that I'm on the right microphone and everything. Okay. Investigation, detectives who puzzle out the truth behind crimes and bring perpetrators to justice. Customs screens the thousands of passengers and cargo containers that pass through Citadel's ports every day. Network deals with cyber crimes like identity and copyright theft, hacking and viral attacks, and illegal artificial intelligence. Oh, okay. Special response deals with hostage situations, bombs, and heavily armed criminals. In the unlikely event the attackers board the Citadel, they are also the front line of defense, armed with military-grade equipment. Okay. Patrol. Naval arm with ships stationed throughout the Citadel cluster. Unlike the other divisions, they are rarely seen at Citadel, nor do they stay in one place for long. Joining CSEC is prestigious. Applications must be sponsored by a Citadel counselor or the ambassador of an associate council race. Generally, applicants have many years of distinguished service in the military or police forces of their nation, but an experienced applicant with demonstrable talent will be fairly considered. CSEC and inspectors are often at odds. Many CSEC members, notably current executor Venari Palin, believe that allowing inspectors to be above the law is a dangerous practice. The actions of Sarah Arturius lend credence to this position. Inspectors, in turn, are aggravated when CSEC's dedication to procedure and due process hampers their investigation. Understandable. The ring is an enclosed loop of park-like space, serving as the connection point for the wards. The interior walls are lined with embassies of influential species and private residences for the galaxy's elite. Okay, so the Presidium's on the ring, then. They're in the center. That whole thing makes a center. The Presidium is full of open-air restaurants, bars, and luxurious meeting areas. Gravity is about 1/3 Earth normal. Oh, wow. 1/3? Wow. I mean, I know that they have to be able to keep it at a reasonable one for everybody, but I think that the general, it's like, oh, well, what if species aren't, used to this kind of gravity, blah, blah, blah. Part of it is, I think the general idea is that the species that evolve similar to an Earth world. like in their need for oxygen and stuff. Like that's how we consider life. Like it's this big thing in science, but it's like if we're going to find another species, like another alien species, they're probably going to be similar or so outside our realm of comprehension because they're able to live in a completely different way. But I think for this, it's like, you know, there are certain things needed for life to progress as it has for us. So the people, aliens, whatever other species will progress similarly to us. In that this is the only way we can comprehend life having evolved. I don't know. It's really, I'm not saying it very well. It's this big complicated thing in like space sciences and stuff, but it makes sense. For sure, it makes sense. Like if something else comes up, that would make sense too. But this is what makes sense for this. Holographic size projected over the ceiling of the ring. Unlike 24/7 Bustle, the Wars of Presidium maintains a 20-hour day schedule. Oh, with a 6-hour night where lights are dim and the sky goes through a night cycle. Okay. Offices and residences are often open to the interior. It's not unusual for embassies to have no exterior wall at all. This does not cause a crime problem due to the heavy seaside presence and ubiquitous monitoring services. The ring is a location of the Citadel spaceports, being closer to the center of the spin. There is less motion for a ship to match. Okay. And the reduced spin gravity makes handling cargo easier. Hundreds of ships pass through the Citadel every day, and every species and embassy is granted private dock. The tower at the center of the ring holds the administration for the Citadel Council. The tower rises over a kilometer from the ring, appearing to thrust forward parallel to the ward arms. Okay. As the tower is at the center of the spin axis, it experiences little centrifugal force. Gravity is maintained using a mass effect fields at a 90-degree angle to the ring and the wards. Weird. I mean, you have to, but it's still kind of weird to think that it's like, whoa, we're like walking perpendicular people. A consular dock can be found at the base of the tower, while normally used for diplomatic couriers and inspector business. A shuttles docked here can evacuate the council government in an emergency. Serpent Nebula. The Citadel is surrounded by a blue-tinted reflection nebula. The light of the nebula is actually light from the Citadel. Oh, scattered and reflected back at the station. At first, the Serpent Nebula was assumed to be made of microscopic construction debris. Oh, so it's... okay. Prevailing theory holds that the Protheans used molecular nanotechnology to manufacture the incredibly durable materials in the Citadel. But unlike other nebulae, the Serpent does not dissipate over time, therefore it must be replenished constantly. The current popular theory is that the non-recyclable waste collected by the Citadel's keepers is somehow rendered down to the atomic or molecular level and injected into the cloud. The thick nebula presents a navigation hazard. Beyond relatively clear areas around the Citadel, electrical discharges are common. These are not blocked by kinetic barriers and can severely damage metal-framed starships. In addition, some dense knots of dust can overwhelm the repulsion of kinetic barriers on small ships. If such a vessel is moving fast enough at the time, the effects are similar to being hit by a sandblaster. Attempting to reach the Citadel through open space, navigation is unadvisable. The only safe approach is through the various mass relays that orbit it. Okay, so you can't just like fly in. You can just be like, ooh. I don't remember reading these. I think I might have, but I don't remember reading these. I just don't understand how we don't know more about how the Citadel runs. It's like I would think that they would want to get to the interior and see exactly what makes the Citadel tick, so they could advance their own technology. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like everyone's been brainwashed. I don't understand. The majority of the Citadel's population lives in the wards, the 5 massive arms of the station that house the residential and commercial districts. Many galactic races have established cultural enclaves here. Population density and cost of living are extremely high, akin to Earth cities such as Hong Kong and Singapore. The wards are open top, with skyscrapers rising from the superstructure. It'd be so cool looking. The towers are sealed against vacuum. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, because they're open to space. Yeah, it's not like they're like a big cone or like a big dome over everything. It's all open. Towers are, like, I keep thinking, like, the whole inside of the Citadel is like covered in like a woo, it's like fine, but spaceships can fly right through the center of it, you know, so it's not. I'd be worried about a spaceship coming in and like crash landing on a ward or something, you know, like haven't there been issues with like spaceships like coming in and like breaking down and like crashing on a ward or something? Like there's no barriers there. The breathable atmosphere envelope is only maintained at a height of about 7 meters. The atmosphere is contained by the centrifugal force of rotation and a membrane of dense, colorless sulfur hexafluoride gas held in place by carefully managed mass effect fields. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I mean, I don't know if I could. I mean, obviously it's sturdy, but these are carefully maintained mass effect fields that are holding in this atmosphere. And that's all that's keeping people alive. Like, if those Mass Effect fields go down, poof, everybody's in space. Like, they're, like, thrown out an airlock, pretty much. I don't know how I'd feel about living with, like, an invisible membrane between me and the vacuum of space. The view from the wardens is spectacular. In the background stars, Cyber Nebula, the nearby blue giant called the Widow. Oh, okay, that's why it's called that. Move across the sky as the station rotates to stabilize itself. In the foreground, the lights of the buildings and vehicles on the opposing ward arms perpetually shine. The Citadel has no real day or night, while the station keeps to standard galactic time for political functions. Businesses rarely close, and residents acclimate to sleep and work according to personal need rather than the day-night cycle. Ooh, I don't know. That's unhealthy. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's actually pretty unhealthy. The Dreadnought is the ultimate arbiter of space warfare. Millions of tons of metals, ceramic, and polymer dedicated to the projection of firepower against an enemy vessel of like ability. No sane commander would face a Dreadnought with anything less than another Dreadnought. A Dreadnought's power lies in the strength of its main gun. Dreadnoughts range from 800 meters to 1 kilometer long, with a main gun of commensurate length. An 800-meter mass accelerator is capable of accelerating one 2-kilogram slug to a velocity of 283 kilometers per second every 2 seconds. Each slug has the kinetic energy of 38 kilotons of TNT, 3 times the energy released by the fission weapon that destroyed Hiroshima. I think it's funny, not funny, but it's interesting that every sort of explosion is, every sort of TNT explosion, anything, any sort of bomb is always compared, at least in America, to the weapon that destroyed Hiroshima, to the atomic bombs, because that's something, I don't know if that's how it is in other places, but that's how it's used here a lot. And it's like, because that, like, that gives us, I mean, it's like the destroyed Hiroshima, you know, like that's something that it's stuck in our memories, you know, like it's the biggest thing we can think of, you know, type thing. And then the biggest explosion we can think of, and then if it's 3 times that, it's like holy buckets, you know, type thing. Like, it's just like that gives us like something to relate it to. When used to bombard planets, wow, some of this kinetic energy is lost due to atmospheric re-entry friction. As a rule of thumb, each Earth atmosphere of air pressure saps approximately 20% of a projectile's impact energy. Oh, okay. The Turian fleet has 37, the Asari 21, and the Solarians 16. Humanity has 6 with an additional hull under construction at the Arcturus station. Alliance battleships are named for mountains of Earth: Everest class, Everest, Fuji, Elbrus; Kilimanjaro class, Kilimanjaro, Taishan, Shasta, Aconcagua, under construction. I remember that. I don't know. I wonder how many the Batarians have. We don't see the Batarians yet, but because they have fleets. It'd be nice to know how many everybody has. Right, so the Dreadnoughts are the big ones. What are the other ones? Technology, communications, administration. While combos allow rapid transmission, there's a finite amount of bandwidth available. Oh, I remember this. This was interesting. Given that trillions of people may be trying to pass a message through a given buoy at any one time, access to the network's parceled out in priority tiers. The Citadel Council and the Inspectors have absolute priority. Sweet. If they are using all the bandwidth, everyone else must wait. Individual governments and their militaries enjoy highest tier. During wartime, civilian communication can suffer hours or even days of lag. Intelligence agencies study ping time through various systems to predict military buildups. Ah, okay, right. So, like, spies, or, like, you know, intelligence agencies will look and see how many pings are going through to know, and on what lines. They can see how many military's messages are going back and forth. Because if there's a lot, you know, you're screwed. Below the government's and military's bandwidth, priority sold to the highest bidder. Media conglomerations, particularly headline news networks, purchase higher priority to provide their viewers with timely information. Corporations that require timely information and response capability, for example, financial institutions and investment firms, also invest heavily in priority access. The funds acquired through sales of bandwidth are used to maintain and expand communications infrastructure. While everyone with a computer has guaranteed free and unlimited access to the galactic extranet, they are last in line for bandwidth and may have to wait for their requests to be processed. Bandwidth resale corporations use investment capital to purchase blocks of high priority access made available by paid subscription. See, that's like, when you think about it, like, that's like your internet. Like, if I want to request, I want to look up this definition, like, that has to go through that. And so if your bandwidth isn't good, like, in this day and age, like, I wonder, like, if the internet's, like, almost, or the extranet's almost, like, obsolete in a way. Like, it would be a pain in the rear end if you didn't have a good one, you know? It's pain enough now. The standard credit was established by the Citadel's Unified Banking Act as the currency of interstellar trade. The credit has a managed floating exchange rate calculated in real time by the central bank to maintain the average value of all participating currencies. Some regional currencies are worth more than a credit and some less. Hard currency can be stolen or counterfeited, so electronic fund transfers are the norm. More importantly, physical transactions cannot be easily tracked, making them ideal for tax evasion or the purchase of illegal goods. When the Alliance joined the Citadel, its various national treasuries were linked into the credit network. A human with a bank account of Mexican pesos, Japanese yen, or Indian rupees can purchase any item priced in credits at the fair market value. All economies that participate in the credit network are required to price items in both local currency and credits. So we don't have, like, at this point, it's not like the Alliance has made, like, a universal, like, human money, you know? So, like, we still have all the different kinds of currency that humans have. That would be a pain in the rear end. Okay, the guy's gonna read to us.
The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel. When the Solarians arrived, it was the Asari who proposed the establishment of the Citadel Council to maintain peace throughout the galaxy. Since then, the Asari have served as the mediators and centrists of the Council. An all-female race, the Asari reproduce through a form of parthenogenesis. They can attune their nervous system to that of another individual of any gender and of any species to reproduce.
Very interesting.
The second species to join the Citadel, the Solarians, are warm-blooded amphibians with a hyperactive metabolism. Solarians think fast, talk fast, and move fast. To Solarians, other species seem sluggish and dull-witted. Unfortunately, their metabolic speed leaves them with a relatively short lifespan.
I like all those descriptions are all really good. They're very interesting and diverse. I really like it.
50,000 years ago, though now extinct, the Rachni once threatened every species in Citadel space. Over 2,000 years ago, explorers foolishly opened a mass relay to a previously unknown system and encountered something never seen before or since. A species of spacefaring insects guided by a hive mind intelligence. The Elcor are a Citadel species native to the high-gravity world Dakuna. They are massive creatures, standing on 4 muscular legs for increased stability. Elcor move slowly, an evolved response to an environment where a fall can be lethal. This has colored their psychology, making them deliberate and conservative. Elcor's speech is ponderous and monotone. Among themselves, scent, slight movements, and sub-vocalized infrasound convey shades of meaning that make a human smile seem as subtle as a fireworks display. Since their subtlety can lead to misunderstandings with other species, the Elcor often go out of their way to clarify when they are being sarcastic. The Geth are a humanoid race of networked AIs. They were created by the Hanar are a Citadel species known for excessive politeness. They speak with scrupulous precision and take offense at improper language. Hanar that expect to deal with other species take special courses to help them unlearn their tendency to take offense at improper speech. All Hanar have 2 names. The face name is known to the world. The soul name is kept for use among close friends and relation. When the Asari discovered the Citadel, they also discovered the Keepers, a docile, multi-limbed insect race that seemingly exists only to maintain and repair the great Prothean station.
Non-threatening.
Early attempts to communicate with or study the Keepers were failures, and it is now illegal to interfere with or impede Keeper activity. Because they are completely non-threatening, Keepers have become virtually invisible to everyone else. The Krogan evolved in a hostile and vicious environment. Until the invention of gunpowder weapons, eaten by predators was still the #1 cause of Krogan fatalities. Afterwards, it was death by gunshot. When the Solarians discovered them, the Krogan were a brutal, primitive species, struggling to survive a self-inflicted nuclear winter. The Solarians culturally uplifted them, teaching them to use and build modern technology, so they could serve as soldiers in the Rachni War. Liberated from the harsh conditions of their homeworld, the quick-breeding Krogan experienced driven from their home system by the Geth nearly 3 centuries ago, most Quarians now live aboard the migrant fleet, a flotilla of 50,000 vessels ranging in size from passenger shuttles to mobile space stations. Home to 17 million quarians, the flotilla understandably has scarce resources. Because of this, each quarian must go on a rite of passage known as the pilgrimage when they come of age. They leave the fleet. The Volus are a member species of the Citadel with their own embassy, but they are also a client race of the Turians. Centuries ago, they were voluntarily absorbed into the hierarchy, effectively trading their mercantile prowess for Turian military protection. Erun, their homeworld, lies far beyond the normal life zone of its star. However, the world has a high-pressure greenhouse atmosphere that traps enough heat to support an ammonia-based biochemistry. As a result, the Volus must wear pressure suits and breathers when dealing with other species, as conventional nitrogen-oxygen air mixtures are poisonous to them, and in the low-pressure atmospheres tolerable to most species, their flesh will actually split open. Volus culture is tribal, bartering lands and even people to gain status. This culture of exchange inclines them to economic pursuits. It was the Volus who authored the Unified Banking Act, and they continue to monitor and balance the Citadel economy.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get a chance to read it. I had to let the dog out. Support an ammonia-based biochemistry. Blech, they split open. Right. Wait, no,
After-
we already read that.
Pharos is a habitable world in the Attican Beta Cluster. Two-thirds of the habitable surface is covered with the ruins of a crumbling Prothean megatropolis. In the millennia since the Prothean extinction, the ruins have been repeatedly picked over by looters many times. Pharos was considered a poor prospect for colonization, as little open ground remains for agriculture. The only sizable freshwater sources are the poles, which are tapped by the decaying. Noveria is a cool, rocky world with most of its hydrosphere locked up in massive glaciers. A privately chartered colony world, the planet is owned by the Noveria Development Corporation Holding Company. The NDC is funded by investment capital from 24 high-technology development firms and administrated by an executive board representing their interests. The investors built remote hot labs in isolated locations across Noveria's surface. Biotic. A virtual intelligence is an advanced form of user interface software. VIs use a variety of methods to simulate natural conversation, including an audio interface and an avatar personality to interact with. Although a VI can provide a convincing emulation of sentience, they are not self-aware, nor can they learn or take independent action. VIs are used as operating systems on commercial and home computers. Minimal VI agents are also available. Agents are compact and specialized. Some serve as personal secretaries, filtering calls and scheduling meetings based on user-defined priorities. Others are advanced search engines, propagating themselves across the extranet to collate user-requested data. Commercial VIs in a variety of stock personalities are available at any software retailer. Mass relays are feats of Prothean engineering advanced far beyond the technology of any living species. They are enormous structures scattered throughout the stars and can create corridors of virtually mass-free space, allowing instantaneous transit between locations separated by years or even centuries of travel using conventional FTL drives. Primary mass relays can propel ships thousands of light years, often from one spiral arm of the galaxy to another. However, they have fixed one-to-one connections. A primary relay connects to one other primary relay and nowhere else. Secondary relays can only propel ships across a few hundred light years. However, they are omnidirectional. A secondary relay can send a ship to any other relay within its limited range. There are many dormant primary relays whose corresponding twins have not yet been located. These are left inactive until their partner is charted, as established civilizations are unwilling to blindly open a passage that might connect them to a hostile species.
Okay, so that's probably why a lot of them, like, other species haven't been discovered, is because they try to discover them without the relays. You can't just, like, I guess there's not, you can't just jump all over the place. How would you know it was their twin, though? You know? I guess you could just get on, like, do people, like, manage these relays? Like, do people, like, work on them, you know? Like, just kind of hang out and study 'em?
Kinetic barriers. Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and military personnel. It combines several useful applications: a local anesthetic, disinfectant, and clotting agent all in one.
Okay.
Once applied, the gel is designed to grip tight to flesh until subjected to a frequency of ultrasound.
It really
It is
does?
sealable against liquids, most
Violates
notably
council laws
blood,
against
as
genetic
well as
engineering.
contaminants and gases. The gel is a genetically engineered bioplasm created by the CERTA
And it was
Foundation,
created
a
by
medical technology megacorp
humans.
based on Earth. Technically, Medigel violates council laws against genetic engineering, but to date, it has proved far too useful to ban.
How come it does the... It violates genetic engineering stuff? Oh, take down first. Okay, so... Oh, right, you gotta go do that too. The fan. I don't know what that is about. I really don't know what that's about. I've never done it. Alright, we finished that. Oh, wow, I've already got half of them. Okay, so I must have got... I think I actually got like 18 last time or something. I was really close, but there's always those last couple, you know? But I guess we'll end it here, and we'll let it be a Codex episode of reading and whatnot. Thank you all for joining me. I will see you in the next one.